Hello everyone, it's Miss Thomas, and today we are going to be solving proportions. A proportion is an equation that says that two ratios are equal. So typically you will see this generically as A over B equals C over D, where B cannot equal 0 and D cannot equal 0. And the reason for that is because both B and D are in the denominator, and you can't have zeros in the denominator. So we usually use what's called the cross product property to solve proportions. We know that if A over B is equal to C over D, then A times D is equal to C times B. And what this is it uses the multiplication property. So if I had x over 4 is equal to let's say 3 over 12, I can multiply this side by a 12 over 1 to cancel out the 12. So I would end up with 12x over 4 equals 3. And I could multiply both sides by 4 over 1 to cancel out the 4, and I really just end up with 12x equals the 3 times 4, which is what this ADCB means. So the cross product property is where you take the numerator of one times the denominator of the other, and you set it equal to the numerator of the other one times the denominator of the first fraction. So, a couple of examples for you. If you had 4 over 3 is equal to 8 over x, sometimes you can just reason through a problem. Like you probably could reason through a problem here without having to do any algebra, because you can think about, okay, well 4 times 2 is equal to 8, and 3 times 2 would mean that x has to equal 6, so that these stay proportional. They get larger at the same rate. But sometimes your problems get a little bit more complicated and you want to do a little bit more algebra. So you might have something like b minus 8 over 5 is equal to b plus 3 over 4. So with these binomials in the numerator, it makes it a little more complicated. My first piece of advice to you is if you have more than one term, put it in parentheses, then you're going to do the cross product. So you are going to first take 4 times b minus 8. Then you can take it, set it equal to 5 times b plus 3. So now we want to use the distributive property. So we have 4b minus 32 equals 5b plus 15. And so now we really just need to start solving this equation. I'm going to move the 4b to the right side of the equation to get my b's on the right. So I should end up with a negative 32. Make sure you don't lose that minus sign. Equals b plus 15. Subtract the 15 to cancel it out. And b is equal to a negative 47. The U try. b plus 4 over 5 equals 7 over 4.